Hi there, this is Kat Ramirez. I am CEO and founder of Advertise and hashtag Social Buzz. I am here live and I'm playing with the graphics and my background. Got a new background. Isn't that cool? Yay. So if you, I'm just making sure I'm live. So I'm not trying to avoid here the situation or contact. I'm just making sure that I am live and things are rolling. Okay, I see that I'm live. And so if you are watching or participating today, make sure you leave a comment, please. I would love to get some engagement today. And how cool I was on Daryl's um, live event and he had so much engagement. I was so jealous and I was like, wow, how come I never get that much engagement? And so I think the trick to it is to really encourage you, guys and girls, to really ask questions, interface. Let me know what you have going on so that we can help each other out. And I'm just like getting all of this stuff situated. So we got a lot of people tuning in. Yay! We got David. Hey, David. Thanks for watching. We got Kevin Ryan. Hey, Kevin Ryan. Thanks for watching. Dahlia. Thank you, Dahlia. And let's see. Veronica. Veronica, you look like a veteran. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And thank you for your service. So if you we're going to talk about branding versus lead generation. And I think this is a really, really great topic to talk about because when I'm talking to new businesses and I'm talking to a lot of new businesses every day, every week, week after week after week, and what I'm seeing is people are confused or they don't understand the difference. So um, ask your questions if you have any about lead gen or branding so that we can address them today and here. And I can make sure that you are well equipped with the information. Um, hey, okay, so this is really hard because it's like multitasking. And I think when Daryl did it, he is awesome. I like salute how awesome. Kevin's from Connecticut. Super. Veronica's from Memphis. Carl, hello. Thanks for watching. Oh, Dahlia is a branding expert. I love it, Dahlia. If anything I say you concur with or disagree, please leave a comment. I won't be threatened at all. And I'm so glad that you're tuning in as well. I love it. Okay, so branding versus lead gen. So, what is the difference? Okay. So, basically, branding is an awareness campaign. Okay. And it's you're basically telling your audience or your customer base is who you are, what you do, and how to get a hold of you. And so you are trying to make a very memorable impression. So you're using your brand to make this impression and you're building it. You're building it. So you're really building a story is basically what you're doing, okay? And there's a lot of things including in this. Um, so, um, so I'm gonna walk through like the pros and cons, and then the basics of what is building a brand and what are some of the metrics and some of the components around it. And then I'm going to talk about what is lead gen and what are some of the components around it and the pros and cons of it. That way you get a good understanding of branding versus lead gen, which is also which is lead generation, which is also lead gen. And I'm really bad about using acronyms and shortening words. So sorry. So if you get to a point where you don't understand what I'm saying, please drop a comment, drop a line, let me know, and then I'll make sure I answer that for you. Okay. And so how do people build a brand? Well, there's several ways that they get started in building the brand. The first is they create a logo. They create a logo and they have some sort of branding guide. And what is a branding guide? A branding guide is specific colors associated to that brand and specific fonts that are associated to the brand that you're going to use consistently throughout your campaign. And so this is kind of like the building bricks of your brand and what you're going to start with, okay? Then you also have an association to it is a tagline or a branding message that you start building around your brand, okay? So essentially, you're trying to create your voice for this brand. And that's what you're trying to build upon. Okay. And so you want to create a very, very consistent marketing pieces and messaging and promotions. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create some consistency. And in the consistency, what you're putting together and building are, again, the same voice, the same message, the same look, the same feel, the same fonts, the same colors. That's basically what you're trying to do. So you're building this brand that you have, and that's going to be part of you, either your business or your goods or services. Okay, because branding can be associated to different things. It doesn't always have to be just a business. You could be branding you, or you could be branding a product or service or an item, or um, a solution, or software, anything. So that's what you're building when you build a brand. Okay. So the results of branding and how you're going to use this is you are going to connect with people emotionally. Okay. Because you're building that brand based on your mission statement. Okay. And so with your mission statement, you're trying to grab this connection with your future customers or the people that you want to be loyal to you. And then the other thing is you're aligning with people who align with your culture, because that's part of your brand as well. You want people to truly understand and believe in your why. Okay. So that is really part of building your brand. So eventually, these people, your followers, your tribe, whatever you want to call them, your peeps, they are going to have an affinity for your business, your brand, or whatever it is that you're trying to put out there and build that brand around, uh, because they feel a connection. And that's part of branding. That's the cool thing about it. So if I had to like kind of summarize it for you, it's really about you building this trust and credibility and affinity for your products, goods, or services, whatever it is that you have that you're trying to build the brand for. And so when you're doing that, you are really having people resonate with your tagline, with the colors that you have, the fonts you have. So you're building this whole association so that when they see that, they're like, yeah, yeah, that's that brand I love. So similar to the golden arches, when you see the golden arches, what are you related to? You're related to a Big Mac, right? You related to those awesome fries. And the same thing with like Nike, what are you related to? You related to Just Do It, right? So these are companies that have built a brand. And so that is part of branding. And again, you're really trying to get people to fall in love with your products, goods, or services, and understand who you are and what you do and your why, your whole why statement. So you're really trying to build some customer loyalty. That's what Apple does with building their brand. Okay. They have serious customer loyalty. When there's a new product, an Apple person is like going to clamor to go find it out or read about it or be the first to buy it. That's building a brand. So you're building loyalty. Okay. So, I guess my question to you as I kind of break this up a little and trying to get you guys to give me a little more engagement is what are you doing? Are you building a brand or are you building or doing lead generation? So, what is it that you are doing? Let me know. I would love to know. Um, and and is it working for you, or what are the challenges that you see with using branding or with using lead generation? Um, and again, this is like really hard to multitask or lead gen. And I'm telling you, Daryl, when he did it the other day, I God love you, Daryl. He did such a great job. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the pros of branding. Okay, building a brand, using a branding campaign. So the pros of using a branding campaign is you're going to be consistent. It's gonna be absolutely and utterly consistent because you're using the same color, the same tone, the same voice, the same font, the same, scheme. It is gonna be completely and utterly consistent. How cool is that? Okay. The other thing is your storytelling. So you're teaching people in nuggets about your brand and what you're developing. And how cool is that? You're building awareness. And that's a big part of branding is the building this awareness campaign. So maybe you are pre-launch and so you're building this awareness campaign so people get to know your goods, products, or services. Okay. And then it also helps understand how are you different. So when you do a branding campaign, you're really, really building on how are you different and you're pointing that out and you're really educating your marketplace about that. And you're very authentic. So you're creating this very authentic message that in today's time, especially now with the pandemic, is very true and it's more well received today because people want to have an affinity with something, and especially if it's a social cause that helps. So anything that really is kind of giving back or educating, that people will have affinity for your product or brand, and they will have some empathy for you because you're building this branding campaign. Okay, so what are some of the cons? There are a lot more pros. I'm just giving you the big brush. Woohoo! Let me give you these. Okay, so what are some of the cons? The cons are it's really really hard to measure your ROI, return on investment. It is really hard, okay? It's going to take a long time. This is not something that happens overnight. Apple did not happen overnight. Nike did not happen overnight. McDonald's did not happen overnight. It is not going to happen overnight, okay? And then it takes an investment. It takes money. It's going to take, some money because you are building this brand. And then how you want to ramp up or how far you want your breath to be is going to determine how much money that's going to cost you to build that brand. So keep that in mind because, you know, building a brand or creating a branding campaign is very, very different. Okay. And so those kind of give you the lay of the land of what a branding campaign is because I know I talk to a lot of people and they let me know um, that oh, I want to advertise cat. I need some marketing because I need to make sure I brand myself. And they're not really understanding the difference between what their real needs are. And let's say that they're an e commerce store that's not really a branding campaign because, when they're having a conversation with me at the end of the day, they're saying, I just want people to buy. Well, that's kind of a lead gen campaign, not a branding campaign. So that's just a little example and really loving the engagement. Again, Kevin Ryan, I'm developing a small Kickstarter campaign. That's awesome. Kevin, you should drop the Kickstarter campaign link here. Let's show some support for Kevin. Carl, great job, Kat. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Okay, so Matt Wolf, how important are hashtags for branding? Hashtags are really important for branding, by the way. And how many do you think you should use for your brand, and how many generic ones to bring in on others? I love that. That's a great question, Matt. So here's the deal on hashtags. Here's what you don't want. Please don't overuse hashtags, because you don't want to look spammy and you don't want to look desperate. Don't do it. Because when you start to see those posts where they have like a boatload of hashtags, I I look at it and I'm like, wow, you're really getting desperate. You don't need it. You only need a few. And most of my campaigns, I look at the one I'm using today. I think I have 4, maybe 5. You know, there are some campaigns where it's really right on target, and I only use 2, you know. So it just depends on your message, what's in the content in the post, and what you're trying to say. Because if what is in the post is not clear enough, then you got to put some hashtags so that people gravitate to that post, and you make sure they find that. Okay. Great question, though. I love it. Okay, so now let's talk about lead generation. Let's talk about lead generation and why someone would want to run a lead generation campaign. So here's the nuts and bolts of it. So I kind of have a bunch of descriptions and definitions of why you would run a lead generation campaign. So basically, if you're trying to grow your business or increase sales or increase revenue, you want a lead generation campaign. That's what you want. So, again, I'm going to repeat. If you're trying to grow your business, if you're trying to increase sales, if you're trying to grow revenue, then you're looking for a lead gen campaign. Lead gen is short for lead generation. That's what you want. Okay. So, I have the HubSpot definition of lead generation that I want to share with you, because I really love what they have defined it as. And it's a really good um, kind of full story on what they're trying to say. So lead generation is the process of attracting and converting strangers and prospects into leads. That's basically what you're doing. It's a way of warming up the potential customers to your business and get them on the path to eventually buying from you. That's what a lead generation campaign is. So a lead is someone who is interested in your goods or product or service, and someone who shows interest in buying from you. Now, it's your job, yes, your job, to convert these people, because not necessarily are they going to convert. All these people are going to convert automatically and just by automation. Okay. So just know that lead gen is warming up the person who may be interested in your goods, products, services, whatever it may be. And it doesn't always have to be retail. It could be a service. It could be a product. It could be anything. Okay. So it could be so many different variations. Okay. We're not going to go down that, because I'm going to try and get through as much as this as I can. Okay. So again, a lead is someone who is interested in your products or good, and someone who shows interest in your business. And again, it's up to you to convert them. This is not automatic. And so many times that I meet people who want a lead gen campaign, a lead generation campaign, and they're like, oh, nobody's converting, nobody's buying. And I'm like, you got all these leads. And so let's just be hypothetical. Let's say I'm creating a lead gen campaign and I'm delivering 4 to 5 leads a week. Okay, well, somebody's got to follow up on that. Somebody's got to convert that. It's not going to happen automatically. People aren't just going to sign up. It's your job now to convert them. It's your job to sell them. So the selling part is still a part of the mix. It does not go away. So do not think that a lead generation campaign is automatic, and that once you create this campaign, these people are automatically like signing up. you still have to sell it. You still have to follow up. You still have to do your follow through. And there's so many different ways to do follow through. There's automation, there's actual human being. There's a bunch of different ways. Just know that there has to be a follow through. There has to be something that converts the lead. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some ways to create lead generation because there's so many ways. There's a ton of ways. And I just wrote down a few. And if you have any that you're doing or that you want to share, drop a line and let me know what you are doing for your lead generation. Because, there's so many different creative ways to do it. What are you doing for your lead? Because I want to hear from you guys. Um, okay, so let's see if anybody comments. I think that will be the test of our engagement today because I really want some people to comment. I want you guys to share what you're doing because I'm going to share with you what things that we do and some examples of what I've used. Wouldn't it be a fair exchange if you did too? Okay. So some examples are to optimize your website for CTA. What is CTA? CTA is call to action. You have to optimize your site for call to action so you can convert leads. Okay. And if you don't know how to do that or what I'm talking about, you need to reach out to me because your website, if you are the business, and I'm going to repeat it again, if you are the business that you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to increase sales or you're trying to increase revenue, then you're the ideal candidate for a lead generation campaign. Then your website better be optimized for CTA call to actions. It better be. It has to be. And if it's not, then you're gonna fail. I hate to tell you, and I hate to be so brash and just to the point, but it will fail. Okay, so other ways you can create lead generation is offer a free course or have downloads where you offer free downloads in exchange for emails. That is a lead generation. Now, again, when you offer a free course or have free downloads, that means you have to follow up on these warm leads. Somebody has to follow up, and it's your job to convert them. Again, so lead generation still does take work, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. You can also give away an ebook. If you are in some type of service, if you have insurance, finance, if you're an attorney, if you have some kind of service, that's an ebook opportunity. You don't have to write the ebook. You can buy an ebook and have it as your own and put your brand on it. So there's lots of services like that. So don't think that this is original content of yours, especially if you're in an industry that is pretty structured. You can buy some of these lead gen products and put them on your website, just so you know. And if you need some help with that, reach out to me. You can also run contests and do giveaways. So those also are very helpful and they're fun and exciting, especially now. How cool is it, that we're in this uncertain time that you run some contests and do some giveaways. Those are very, very helpful. You can do an email marketing campaign. That's a lead generation product. And so if you don't have an email list, you can certainly buy an email list. Yes, people, you can buy a list. And yes, you can buy credible lists too, by the way, because I know I get comments from some of my clients who say, well, is the list going to be dirty? And I love when people say that. So there are credible sources. We have a credible source that we use, and the lists are not dirty. Although people will have bad emails that are out there. So just know that, okay? And then you can run, let me see, use LinkedIn. So if you're watching me today on LinkedIn, you can use LinkedIn as a marketing tool and a lead generation program. How cool is that? Because you can prospect your leads on LinkedIn and you can direct message them. Just don't be spammy and don't be salesy. There's a way to get around it and there's a way to be classy about it. The worst thing I hate is the people that sell like the used car salesperson. Don't do that. Lead gens can be sophisticated and they can be classy and they can be very, very tactful. So just know that they don't have to be the, buy now or, give me your email and subscribe today and, all that crap. It doesn't have to be as brutal like that. So lead generation campaigns can be very classy and tactful. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay. And then you can do polls. Polls are really good. People like engaging in polls or surveys. They love that. So especially if it's something that's fun and exciting, those are great. If they are like serious and maybe ask for information you probably don't want to be asking strange people, you're probably not going to get a high engagement. Okay. So the more lighthearted, the less convoluted, the less serious the questions are for the polls or surveys, the better in your return. Okay. You can also offer other tools in exchange for emails. So depends on the services that you provide. So if you're going to do like 30 days for free, if you're going to do like, again, I said the free download, the free ebook. I have a client who's giving away a free book, so, there are so many ways to develop a lead generation program. You can host a workshop or webinar. What a great way, and these are free, by the way. What a great way to introduce your products, goods, or services and also capture leads and that you stay in contact with them. And again, someone has to work these leads. These are not easily convertible leads. You have to work them. There's some follow through. So just keep that in mind. You can do a blog that's a quiz or questionnaire. Those are fun. Okay, here's the last one. And I know a lot of people don't do this, and I do it because it is highly effective for me. Is if you're doing campaigns and you're targeting people and you're sending them in their direction, then a cool way to keep engaged with this very hot lead or warm lead, whatever you want to call it. I call it a hot lead. If they went to your website, that's a hot lead, is to do retargeting ads to remind them about your goods or services or an offer that you have for those visitors from your website. So retargeting, if you don't know what it is, you got to reach out to me. It's a great concept. It works. It's highly effective, and I use it in my lead generation program. Okay, so what are some of the pros and cons of lead generation? Because it's not perfect, it's not beautiful. So some of the pros is you actually grow your business because you're going after leads. So that's number one. You're going to grow your business. You're going to increase traffic to your website because you're doing some sort of lead generation where you're driving traffic to your website. You're also going to increase sales. These are all really positive, right? And you're going to increase profit, right? Because if you increase revenue and sales, you ultimately increase profit. And if you're not increasing profit, then you need to talk to a business coach because obviously you're not priced correctly. Okay. So that's my 2 cents. And if you need help with that, you better contact somebody. Okay. So, what are some of the cons on lead generation campaigns or programs? Well, it is a numbers game, people. So, you have to make sure you're targeting the right audience and you have to make sure you hit as many people as you can in that right audience in order for you to capture the people that might need your goods or services. Okay, so a numbers game, just like cold calling, just like you're dialing for dollars or sending email marketing or anything like that. It is a numbers game in order for you to get the serious leads. Okay. It might be costly because, again, if you don't target the right person, that's a waste of dollars. If you are buying into a campaign where someone promises you a lot of leads and they're just bad leads, that is cost you money. So it might cost you money. So just remember that, make sure you partner with someone or you do it correctly so you don't waste a lot of money. Because that can be, it can have a little sting on you. Okay. So the other con is you have to do a little bit of work. You have to follow up. You have to convert the lead. It's not going to be an automatic. So that is a con for some people who aren't have the sales mentality or don't want to follow up or don't want to talk to people. So just know that you do have to work it. You got to follow up. Another con is it might take more time from you because you do have to nurture it and you have to stay on top of it. And another con is, sometimes it's quantity over quality. So there are companies and people that sell quantity, meaning a lot more leads, over quality. That means very, very few qualified leads. So I'm of the notion of delivering quality leads, because quantity doesn't mean crap to me if I can't convert them. Okay. And then also know that leads don't guarantee revenue. It's not a guarantee. If you buy into a lead generation program, it is not a guarantee. It's not. And so again, it's your product has a little play in it, your reputation has a little play in it, and then customer service has a little play in it. So just keep that in mind. It's not a guarantee. And then the other thing I'm just going to hit home again on is converting the lead is not easy. It is not easy if you are not sales trained, if you have never, been a salesperson and trying to follow up and call your leads. It is really, really hard. So it takes a little bit of talent. It's trainable. I will tell you that it is trainable. But it's not going to be easy, just so you know. It's just like anything else. You have to work at it and you have to improve your game and keep improving your game. Okay. So I'm just going to recap right now. And I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate everybody talking. I'm going to read some of the comments that I got because this is super awesome that I got a lot of people to participate. Was it the comment? Is that what helped? I hope so. Bethany, thank you for watching and participating. I love it. And she did a shout out to Matt. Matt, my old company, LexisNexis Risk Solution, offers data cleansing. That's awesome. There's a lot of companies out there too that if you buy a list that you can scrub it and it'll tell you what's a good list and what's bad. LinkedIn has been huge for me since the quarantine. People are open to conversation. That is awesome. And LinkedIn has been awesome for me as well. If you're not utilizing LinkedIn wherever you're watching this from, it is a huge resource and it's a great tool. And especially because there's not a lot of people capitalizing on it. So it is a great resource. Let's see. Oh, Kevin Ryan said, I'm looking into customized video specifically addressed to the lead. I love that. That's a great idea, Kevin. That is a great suggestion. Carl says, all gratitude. Thanks, Carl. I appreciate it. What else do we have here? Okay, I think I caught up with the comments. Okay, so that's pretty much my song and dance with branding versus lead generation. They're two completely different. And so here's the name of the game is you have to understand and know the difference. And you have to know which one applies to the situation you're in today. And so if you are in a situation where, again, you need revenue, you need business, you need a profit, you need to grow, then you're in a lead generation type of campaign. You have to go for a lead generation campaign. You can't do a branding campaign, expect to get leads. Okay. It's a branding campaign takes a lot longer for people to slowly gravitate you and buy from you. Just keep that in mind. And nobody asked this question, but I'm just going to throw it out there is you can do both. You can do both. You can have a branding campaign and you can have a lead generation campaign. So there's nothing that says you can't do both. You can do both, but just know that when you're working with your marketing person or whoever it is that you're working with, that you understand and know how much money and what's going to the branding campaign and what are you allocating to the lead gen campaign. Because again, they're two completely different. The lead gen, you can measure, you can, hold someone accountable. You can on the lead gen. And if they're doing their job and they're delivering the leads, and then someone on your end is not following up and converting and closing them, don't say that that program is not working. Please don't say that program's not working, because it is someone on the other end that needs to close that needs to convert that. So just keep that in mind, that if you are not able to close and convert the leads that are being delivered, don't say it's a bad campaign and don't say it's not effective or those are bad leads. What you need to do is get some training on closing and converting those leads, so you're better prepared and better equipped for those leads, because you don't want that to be a wasted opportunity. So keep that in mind. Okay. So again, I'm just going to remind you, because this is really, really important that you understand this. And if you're just now tuning in, I'm talking about branding and lead generation campaign. Which one is better suited for you? What is the difference, the pros and cons of both? And again, if you are looking to grow your business, if you're looking to increase your sales, if you're looking to increase your profit, that is a lead generation campaign. If you are trying to build awareness and you're trying to build loyalty and grow your following, that is a branding campaign. So completely different again. And both of them have pros and cons. Just know what you want to get into before you get into it, and know what you're going to invest in either one of them in order for you to get the return and deliver the expectation that you need. Because it's all about making sure that you understand a campaign and you understand the results that are going to come back from you. So managing expectations. I'm all about managing expectations, because that is super important. And you can't manage expectations if you don't understand what you're doing and how you're going about getting the business. Okay, I'm done. Yay. And thanks so much for this super engagement. I love it. And hope you love my new graphics that I built out. I'm really trying to be like techno savvy here. So I put you got it, and then I put like, hey, comment. Where am I? Over here. Hey, comment. And hey, oops, there I am. Oh, I hate this. Follow me. So if you just caught the end of this, I want to thank you for watching, and thanks for your support, and thanks for all the engagement. This was super awesome and I loved it. And I hope this was beneficial to you. And if this is something that someone you know can really use, please tag them and put their name below. That would be super awesome. And thank you again. And I appreciate it. And if you need help with lead gen or branding, reach out to me. I do free consultations. If you go to my profile, I do have a calendar. Book a time with me. I do free consults. I do give people a lot of value information. I do, that you can use, actionable items. I am a great resource. I have over 30 years. I know I don't look like that. I've experience in advertising, marketing, and sales. So please utilize me. I'm a great resource. And thank you so much for your time. Until next time, you got this. And I'll talk to you soon.